Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome. This is Monday Power Hour as we react to all things that happened in week 2 of the SEC football season. We are here taking your questions, your comments, and your calls at 803-500-1485. That's 803-500-1485 here on this Monday, September the 9th. Guys, of course, as always, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get those as well. We're also across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. And this segment brought to you by our friends over at GameTime. If you need tickets, look no further than the GameTime app and use promo code SECU to get $20 off your first purchase. Again, guys, that's GameTime, promo code SECU to get $20 off today. Again, this is Monday Power Hour. The phone lines, as of now, are officially wide open. We want to hear from you. 803-500-1485. We will go until 1 p.m. Eastern. This is your opportunity to let us know how you feel, your thoughts, your takeaways, your biggest reactions, maybe some overreactions to what happened in week 2. I see my guy, John Rice. Good morning, good afternoon, sir. DGD's in the building. What's up? Madison Duncan, appreciate you. Great to see you in the chat. We're already jumping to the phone lines. Look at that already. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get it rolling.
Call from
Robbie Davis, exactly Hall of Famer.
Robbie, what's going on, my friend? You're on the air.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you asking. What's going on?
First of all, this right here is for Stoopsy, okay? And no offense to Kentucky fans, but Stoops, our JV defense just kicked your butt all over your own field.
Yeah, that was domination, Robbie. I thought you were going to continue to go. I apologize. That was domination. That was, thought that if South Carolina were going to win, thought it was going to be a low-scoring game either way. But that defensive performance, man, it was impressive.
My prediction was 34-24 South Carolina. Okay, so I was almost right on the button for at least half the score.
You were indeed, man. That was an impressive win. I mean, it was one we've talked about before that you needed to have. I think for both South Carolina and Kentucky, I call that the most important game for both sides, and I think for Kentucky, it's a really, especially the way it happened, but it is a really damning loss for them. So great for South Carolina. Kentucky's got soul searching to do, and obviously it sets up the huge matchup this weekend with College Game Day in town.
Imagine if our offense could have done something. I mean, yes, Lenore Sellers didn't really. He played as well as he possibly played. In my opinion, I think he played better this week than he did last week. But if our offense could really get clicking and get the running game going, and this defense still plays like this, oh, Lord Jesus, we're going to freaking shock some people.
Yeah, I mean, positive momentum's a great thing, man. This weekend again is great opportunity for South Carolina to make a statement. So, and
I'm excited because I've never been to a South Carolina game whenever game day's been there, so I'm really excited. So.
Yeah. So are you going to go to College Game Day, Robbie?
My first. I've never been to a College Game Day atmosphere for like when game day is there. So I'm really excited.
So you're going to the game this weekend.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I got season
Very
tickets,
nice.
remember?
Very nice. Yeah, it'll be awesome, man. You'll thoroughly enjoy it, man. I was actually there the last time game day was in town, 2014. So it's a good time. It's a very, very good time.
I'm excited.
It's a huge deal for Shane Beamer and that South Carolina program, and we'll see if they capitalize on it.
And I'll message you later on, like maybe Wednesday or Thursday, to give you my prediction.
Love that, Robbie. Yeah, let us know.
I need a couple of days to think about it.
Yeah, I need to know what the prediction is. Robbie, you're the man. I appreciate you calling in. We'll definitely link up this weekend, man. I'll see you in Columbia.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, man. Take care. Great stuff from Robbie Davis, guys. We're going to keep it rolling. Again, we got 1 hour to go here. We're going till 1 o'clock Eastern. If you call in and don't get in the first time, be sure to give us a ring. 803-500-1485. Guys, it was a crazy week in the SEC. Obviously, South Carolina, many of you want to talk about the win over Kentucky. How about Texas beating Michigan? It feels like that game sort of got lost for some reason because so much other stuff happened the rest of the day. Arkansas really hurt me. They choked, unfortunately, but
Call from
yeah,
Jonathan
was a wild day.
Braddock.
to accept, press 1.
Yeah.
Jonathan, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I know you get tired about talking about this, but just want to talk about the Gamecocks, man. I think they got one of the best front sevens in college football at the moment. I know we've only seen them play 2 games, but this is going to show a lot in this LSU game, and I'm excited to see if the offense can maybe step it up a little bit more, in the passing game, running game. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on what you think this LSU game is going to be.
Yeah, it's huge, and I definitely don't get tired of talking about it, man. It's always fun to talk about South Carolina. There's a lot of passion behind it, and obviously it hits a little bit different for me and many of us that talk about it. So, I look at this LSU game, great opportunity to get Rocket Sanders and Oscar Attaway going. I think you're going to need to run the football. LSU loses Jacoby and Guillory, one of their big time D tackles, and they were already paper thin up there. So if there was ever a time for those guys to break out and the running game to break out, and I think, I don't think anybody, and this is no slight to Sellers or anybody else, but, I think this team, the strength's going to be the running game. I don't think we're going to see this be a high-flying passing offense. I think if the offense is going to reach their full potential, they're going to need to establish the run. And, again, LSU's still got a lot of talent. Harold Perkins Jr. is one of the best defensive players in college football. But this is a great opportunity, I think, to get the running game going, have that breakout performance for Sanders and Attaway and the offensive line. So, I'm expecting, again, I think if South Carolina's going to win, and what I would expect from this game is just yet again another lower scoring. You need to keep this game in the 20s. I think if this game gets in the 30s, I just don't know that South Carolina's offense can keep up with that. But with the way they've been playing defense, man, I fully expect them to keep Carolina in the game. And it'll be up to the offense to generate enough to to keep the pressure up on LSU and give yourself a shot in the fourth quarter. But it's a very winnable football game. There's no question.
Yes, sir. And one more thing I just got to say one more thing. Ben ain't swaying. We ain't fucking playing, baby. See you later.
It'll be swaying Saturday, my man. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff, as you can tell. It's crazy how much 1 week can change things, right? And this goes for everybody in the SEC. I mean, it's week 1. Your team either looks great or doesn't play. Like Auburn's the inverse of probably how South Carolina fans are feeling, right? You blow out your opponent week 1. Peyton Thorne looks really good, and then what feels like lay a complete egg against the Cal Golden Bears, and all of a sudden Peyton Thorne is back to what we thought he was, which is not very good. So it is a roller coaster ride of emotions. That is college football, and that is one of the reasons we love it so much. Let's see here. Jack texts in from Saturday Field Pass. Just want to know how will Alabama look heading into Wisconsin this week, and what will LSU have to change for the past 2 weeks to counteract the hostile Williams-Brice Stadium. So, yeah, Alabama's interesting, man. I don't think they probably ever want to play USF again. You got to get off to a quicker start, especially when you go to Camp Randall. And then for LSU, their offensive line just got to play better. I mean, they've got to be able to get a run push. You got weapons on the outside. Nussmeier's capable, but they got to get the running game going.
Call from
Will from Dirty Myrtle.
There we go. Will, what's going on, man? You're on the air.
How about them Cogs?
Dude, didn't see it coming. I got to admit, did not see it coming. Shane Beamer owns Mark Stoops, man. There's really no other way to put it. He owns him. He owns him. So, I mean, that was a huge win, man. We talked about the importance of that game, and I sitting here on this Monday after, I only feel even more strongly about the fact that was a huge win. I think that's a perception of the season changing win. That's an inflection point, if you will, I think, for both South Carolina and Kentucky. I just, I think for each of those teams to hit their goals this year, and we'll see what becomes of Kentucky, but, that was a huge game for them, for the trajectory of the Stoops era and kind of what it is. And I think year 12 is how long he's been there. And then, I mean, dude, same thing for Shane Beamer in South Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of chatter, obviously, in the offseason of the seat warming, or God forbid, a hot seat. And I don't hear many folks talking about that today. So the best way to get rid of that is to win some games, and especially the way you did it, man, that was huge. So get it, it's big getting College Game Day alone, shining that spotlight on your program, and now it's up to South Carolina to go out there, and they take on a really good LSU team, really, really talented, but all you can ask for is the opportunity, and you've got the opportunity with the spotlight on you to go put on a show. So,
yeah, I mean,
couple of things. One, I just got to say, as a South Carolina fan yourself, I know that we have really struggled to get after the quarterback for quite some time now and protect the quarterback. And man, that defensive line, I mean, Stewart looks like a shoe-in first-round pick in a couple of years. He looks amazing. Kennard's really been great. I mean, everybody's just – the defense looks light years better than it has. And it's early and, there's a long way to go. But thus far, looks like one of the best defensive lines in the country, which is really good to see. And then on the other side, Norris grows up a little bit, wasn't perfect, made some mistakes, didn't feel some pressure, but definitely came along, made some throws like we all know he can make. And I feel like we got a chance going into that LSU game now. Like, it's not, crazy talk to think that we could win that game. Now we got to bring our A game and put some pressure on Nutzmeyer because he's definitely a good quarterback, but we got a chance. And lastly, I bought tickets to this game like 5-6 weeks ago, Chris. And, I can't tell you how happy I was when I saw that flash across ESPN that we were going to get game day. I mean, that is huge. Mm-hmm. And I cannot wait, man. And I hope to maybe run cross paths with you when I come. Hopefully you'll be there.
Yeah, man. We 100% will be there. And, we're going to be wandering kind of all over the tailgates, man. Fairgrounds, Gamecock Park. Might even have to stop by Seawells for old time's sake. So, I know I still got some buddies over there. So it'll be a good time, man. But to your point, I want to say, yeah, Dylan Stewart's the best edge rusher since Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of overreactions in week 2 and early in the season, and I get that. I don't think that's an overreaction. I mean, since Jadeveon Clowney, I feel like South Carolina's been they've been looking for that dominant guy off the edge. And I mean, it's 2 games, and Dylan Stewart has, it feels like, become a household name. So the things he does as a true freshman, you feel like a true freshman shouldn't be able to do. I could argue he's off to a faster start than Jadeveon Clowney got off to at South Carolina. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be better over the course of a career, like put some respect on JD's name because he was fantastic. And I mean, number 1 overall pick, like, the rest is history. We all understand. But Dylan Stewart, in my mind, easily, he's the best edge rusher at South Carolina since Jadeveon Clowney. And I mean, I don't even know that it's up for debate. I think that kid is special. That kid's really special. There was a reason why it was looked at as such a game-changing signing when you got him, and you're seeing it play out in front of your very eyes.
And I think that the man that doesn't get talked about a lot is Kilgore. I think he's a stud. I think Kilgore's an absolute stud too, and he's got 2 picks through 2 games, and he's been playing really well. I mean, the whole defense has. But yeah, exciting to see, man. I'll jump off of here, but yeah, go Cox, man.
Yeah, Will, you're the man. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much for calling in. Will from Dirty Myrtle. Always a pleasure to hear from Will. Again, guys, we're taking your questions, comments, calls, 803-500-1485. Sandman comments. DKR over the Big House. Big House was quiet. Very, very quiet, Indy. Texas dominated. I mean, I had Texas -6.5. Never in doubt. That game was never in doubt. DGD says, Florida in week 2, fool's gold. I mean, yeah, they played inferior competition. DJ Lagway did look really good, though. I tell you what, this Texas A&M game is huge for Florida. I know everybody's out on Billy Napier already, but hey, you beat A&M, start to get some good vibes back. Let's jump back to the phone lines here.
From
Joshua Hawley.
To accept, press 1. To send a
Joshua Holly, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. As a Tennessee fan, I'm doing really good.
Yeah, it was a hell of a showing Saturday night, man. I was really glad I got to see Nico and the boys in person in action, man. That was a throttling, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think it's the best defense Tennessee has had in probably 2 decades. And I think with that defense, I think Georgia is going to have 2 losses on the road, and I think Tennessee is going to go 11-1 and actually go to the SEC championship ahead of them.
I mean, I think it's possible. I mean, it's very, very possible. There's no question. That front 7, that was honestly, to your point, that was the reason why I was so optimistic on Tennessee. I mean, obviously the Nico chatter in the offense and Josh Heupel, and I mean, that's a given. You kind of know that's going to be there. But that front 7, to your point, man, it's one of the best in college football. So the way they just dismantled NC State, I knew the game was never in doubt. I took Tennessee to win by a touchdown, and Tennessee fans kind of they took that as an insult, I feel like. And listen, the Vols proved why it was, because that game just, NC State never had a chance. So that front seven's for real, to your point. That game at Georgia will be kind of the I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet, but I'm excited to see, man, when I think that'll probably be a game we will be at later in the season. But nah, Tennessee's a blast to watch, man. This is the best team, obviously, Heupel's had, one of the best teams that Tennessee's had in quite some time, man. So it's, high vibes on Rocky Top right now.
Yeah, and what is your opinion on the Oklahoma game now after this weekend?
It's a very good question. That's a very good question, because over the summer I had Oklahoma beating Tennessee. And obviously, again, predictions are subject to change. We get to the week of the game. I mean, unless I see something different from OU, man, they were in a darn dogfight with Houston, who is nowhere near the level of Tennessee football. So you don't want to overreact to one game. I mean, there will be so many emotions in that night. The storylines are endless, right? With Josh Heupel going back, facing Oklahoma. But right now, I would say I really like Tennessee's chances, right? If I was picking that game this week, it'd be really, really hard for me to not go with Tennessee in that game, just based off what we've seen.
Yeah, and I think the defense will be just as
Oklahoma's offensive line. Yeah, their offensive line's where the questions lie. I don't know if they'll be ready for that challenge, but we'll see. I mean, it's the thing I've learned the most is this thing is as unpredictable as it's ever been. We just know less, I feel like, than we've ever known, and you never know what can happen. But yeah, you have to look at that matchup and feel really good about Tennessee, that front seven going up against Oklahoma's offensive line in just over a week.
Yep, absolutely. Totally agree.
Dude, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much, and call in anytime, my dude.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, brother. We'll talk soon. Appreciate it. Really good stuff. Yeah, guys, Tennessee was wildly, wildly impressive on Saturday night. Nico Iamaleava is in full control. I mean, the defense, to his point, that's the thing that jumps out. And I see, I don't know if I'm quite ready to go there with the Georgia take. They're going to go 11-1. They're going to beat Georgia at their house. There's a lot of season before then. I'll say that too. But, it's almost like you need to see it. They haven't done that in so long. Go into Georgia and win. But, listen, this Tennessee's for real. I think NC State's got issues too. Like, I think what we saw against Western Carolina was kind of a precursor to what we saw in Charlotte. And they've got some real issues to fix. They have not lived up to the hype, but DGD, he disagrees, right? Grayson McCall's worse at reading a defense than Floyd Mayweather is reading a book. That's tough, man. That's tough. Let's see. Charles, I'm not sure Kentucky's as good as we thought, so this will be a true test of a game. I would say take nothing away from South Carolina. I think this will be the greatest challenge yet. I mean, for sure. I think LSU's a better team than Kentucky. I don't think there's any question about that. I would have said that before the season, going into the season, going into game week last week. I mean, that is, that's what I would have said for sure. But I don't know, man. It's the South Carolina LSU game is wildly fascinating. It's fascinating from both aspects. It's fascinating from both aspects. I think when you look at what LSU has to lose in the game or what's riding on it for them, man, it's, I think if as an LSU fan, I think you look at this game, you felt like LSU should win this game. This is probably one you checked off as a W. I think especially when you saw the game a noon kickoff, I think Williams-Brice Stadium will still be a really, really good environment. But at noon, it'll be a little bit different. But I mean, this is one of your LSU guys. After you lose to Southern Cal week one, there is no room for error. You still have Ole Miss. You still have Alabama. There's not going to be any like Kelly hot seat talk, right? If you lose this game because of the buyout's crazy, and you're just not going to do that. But, I think this is one that LSU's got to win. I mean, this is a must win for them. Let's see. Josh, hate to tell you guys, Texas, but you're playing in the SEC now. You're going to lose multiple games. Look out for us. They ain't like us. And I believe he's talking about Arkansas because this comment, enjoy Arkansas football, always can't wait to play Texas. I mean, I tell you, Josh, I think Texas is a real national title contender. I really do. I mean, people want to take stuff away. Oh, it's Michigan. Dude, you went into the defending national champs' house and whooped them. I mean, you straight up whooped them. Now, granted, I get it. You know, you got to show it an SEC play, and they're going to get the opportunity, but I'm not doubting Texas, guys. I think Texas is truly for real. I think Texas is absolutely for real. Luke RJ, will Missouri beat Boston College at home? Good question. If there was another game that was going to get College game day, I honestly thought it was going to be this one. Mizzou Boston College is a fascinating game. Missouri's defense will be tested, right? Missouri's defense, a lot of new pieces, a lot of different pieces from last year. Corey Batoon and the boys, they will be tested, right? I like what Boston College has at the quarterback position. They make life really, really difficult on you. You saw it in that game against Florida State a couple weeks ago. So I am excited for that game. Probably won't see much of it since I'll be in the stadium at Williams-Brice in Columbia. That is the game we are going to. But no, Mizzou BC. I mean, that's one. Again, I think we fully expect Missouri to win the football game. They should win the football game, but do not mess with Boston College. I think that is a very, very under the radar type of contest. Very, very under the radar type of contest. So that is one you do not want to sleep on and take lightly if you were the Missouri Tigers. So, guys, 803-500-1485. You can also comment on YouTube, Facebook, X, wherever you are watching the show. You can also text our number at 803-500-1485. We had a couple. I actually got a text on Saturday. Told you South Carolina would win. People were excited. People were very excited. J.M. Jones, cross-conference, ranked on ranked. LSU, South Carolina are, as week 2, both disappointing, incomplete programs. No disrespect to the Gamecocks intended. Props for wrecking Kentucky. LSU cannot run the damn football. That is a huge question in this game. I mean, I get why they chose South Carolina LSU. I'm not going to front and say I wasn't surprised, but I mean, you just take it. You just take it. You don't you don't worry about it. You take it. Stunned that LSU can't run the football right now. I mean, they can't run it worth a lick. Couldn't run it against Nichols. How are you going to run it against that South Carolina front that has been so good through 2 weeks? I mean, listen, South Carolina's defense is for real, man. They're for real. I was skeptical. You know, I wasn't sure what to think after you retained Clayton White and you were so underwhelming last year because I felt like last year they had talent last year as well. But we knew that South Carolina upgraded their front seven athletically, and I think you're seeing that with guys like Kyle Kanara, Bangley Kamari, some of these other ACC guys. Obviously, adding Dylan Stewart has been incredible. I mean, that kid he's special. He's special already. 2 games in, it's very easy to see. Ball players make ball plays, and he's made a ton of them. So very, very special. Stubbs Milling says Stoops and Pittman need Indeed accounts. Looking for jobs. I was so disappointed in Arkansas, man. They had that one. They had that one. I mean, they absolutely had that one. They absolutely had that one. I mean, it just, that one killed me. That one gave the game away. So, Luke RJ, can 2-0 Toledo beat 1-1 Mississippi State at home? Can they? Yeah, I think they can. Yeah. Am I going to be picking it? I don't know about all that, but can they? I think absolutely they can. Yeah. I think they absolutely can. Yes. So listen, that is a really, really dangerous spot if you're Jeff Lebby and company. Really dangerous spot. So. Josh says, old Texans going to be telling you all, young Bucks, they told you so. Arkansas always whips up on Texas. What did they say at Media Days? That Arkansas people hate Texas more than they like Arkansas? Is that true? Is that right on? Green with envy. Sark will retire Sam Pittman for Arkansas fans. Donald Britt says Texas has a winning overall record against Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU, Bama, Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that want to see it, but I never really understood there's some folks out there that almost have put Texas and Oklahoma through like a hazing ritual, if you will. I just don't see it. I just don't see it, man. I think Texas is solid. I think that roster is complete. I think this is what Sark has been building up to. You know, I heard people talk about last year's not really who he is. He's a 7-8 win coach. I couldn't disagree more. I think what you're seeing now is who Sark really is and what Texas is going to be under his leadership. They're going to continue to, to be one of the perennial powers in college football. I really firmly believe that. So let's see. Again, guys, 803-500-1485. How about this comment? Javik61 says, too bad for South Carolina. Stewart will get bought by NIL after the season. Here's my pushback to that. The kid could have gone anywhere and gotten whatever bag he liked. So if it was about the bag, why wouldn't you just go somewhere else in the first place? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how. I don't know that's a great leg to stand on. I just don't. Like, the kid could have gone anywhere, and he went to Columbia. He did not have to go there. He didn't have to go there. I mean, and I've seen social media. I know that's like the funny joke, and I mean, I've seen people on social media running wild with that. But it's like he could have gotten the bag wherever. So how much is it really about the bag? If he were, listen, this world of college football, I'm not going to tell you anybody won't hit the portal. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. But it was all about the bag. I think if he were to leave, it'd be about more than that. I just put it that way. Here's a good question. Cole says, who needs to win this game more, Florida or Texas A&M? I think Florida absolutely needs it more. I mean, guys, it's year one of Mike Elko. And I know there's high expectations in College Station, don't get me wrong, but you're kind of getting a pass in year one. Like if they go 6-6 or 7-5, it's going to be a disappointing year. But in no way, shape, or form is Mike Elko going to be on the hot seat. Billy Napier needs some positive momentum, and he needs it quickly. After that debacle against Miami week one, yes, you bounced back in the right way. DJ Lagway was impressive, but you need this one on your home field again. Again, does the Swamp have any magic left in it? Does Florida have a punch or two in them? Or is this season really, truly just going to go off the rails and that's all she wrote for Billy Napier and company? I said after week one, I don't know how he comes back from it. The only way to come back from it, and we'll see who's playing quarterback. Is it going to be DJ Lagway again? The only way to come back from it is to win some damn football games. And it starts Saturday against Texas A&M. So who needs it more? Florida absolutely needs it more. It'd be disappointing for Texas A&M. There's no question. It'd be very disappointing. The expectations are high in College Station, as they should be. But Billy Napier's literal job is on the line. Florida desperately needs that win more. It's just not even close. It's just not even close in my mind. Let's see. And yeah, Sandman, I think Napier's probably doomed as well. But here's what I would pose for Florida people, because I mentioned this before the season. I had Florida starting 4-1. Granted, I had them losing to Texas A&M and beating Miami. But if you're able to flip-flop that, if you're able to start 4-1, humor me, where are we with Billy Napier? If Florida can still start 4-1, I said over the summer, that would be a success. Even after how the Miami game went, I wonder if that's still the case. If Florida starts 4-1, you're going to have to win some games on the back end. There's no question. But, is that enough to put the Miami loss out of your mind, kind of in the distant past, and say, you know what? Great job at rebounding instead of focusing on that ugly week one loss. Because I would call 4-1 start a success. I would call 4-1 start a success for Florida. I would. Brewer Nation, DJ Lagway is going to help Florida win 6 games and keep his job. Florida fans will be in shambles. Brewer Nation, isn't that the crazy thing? Is that if you're a Florida fan, and they told me this last week, you almost have to actively pull against your team. That's how you feel. You're pulling against your team because you want Billy Napier out. That's a really, really tough spot to be in. I mean, South Carolina fans have done that. I'm sure every fan base has done that or felt that. Maybe they didn't voice it, but they felt it. Into the Muschamp era. Were you really pulling for wins or were you pulling for change? You know what I'm saying? That's a really tough spot to be in. That's a really, really tough spot to be in. Sandman says Florida's going to move on regardless. He doesn't need it. His future's already determined. You might be right. I mean, people are done. People are done. Sandman says Kiffin will be in Gainesville next season. Been saying that for months. He was complaining about people not staying the entire game. I guess you never know. Let's jump back to the phone lines.
Call from
Justin.
Justin, what's going on? You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's your guy, J-Rod. How you doing?
J-Rod, what's up, man? I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm good. You know, I'm out days to recuperate from what happened in Stillwater Saturday. You know what really, really sucks, though, is the fact that everybody I've talked to from a lot of fan bases, and then you hear, you know, other different media guys talking about what happened in Stillwater, and it really sucks to say that we won the game on the field, but we lost the game. Mm-hmm. You know, that sucks. I mean, you look at
the stat sheet. The stat sheet, to your point, J-Rod, like if you just showed me the stat sheet and said, what was the score of this game, I would have probably told you Arkansas won by 3 touchdowns, at least.
Exactly. But then you go down and you see the turnovers, and that tells you the game. Mm-hmm. And I really believe that Arkansas has a good offense this year. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think that what happened in the UAPB game was fluke. I think what they did in Stillwater, Jaquindon Jackson was the only running back on that field. Mm-hmm. You know, Jaquindon is looking really good right now, and I really think that this offense is humming. When you have those type of turnovers, man, it just kills you. I really think that Arkansas has a really good chance to make some noise this year if they can clean up those little small things. Those small things that are really, really big things, for sure. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
The turnovers were backbreaking. It's just, and I think that's what makes you sick. As an Arkansas fan, that's what makes you sick, is that that game was I would argue you lost that game more than Oklahoma State won that game. Truly.
Exactly. We beat ourselves. Arkansas beat Arkansas that day.
Yeah. I mean,
and it was a great game. It was a great game. I think, and honestly, Chris, I think that game should be played more. Mm-hmm. As a Razorback fan, I mean, I live in Bentonville, so we're only 3 hours away from them. That would be a good home and home to start off. Like, say we go to the 9-team schedule, like they're talking about, and we have the 3 out of conference. I think Stillwater would be a good out of conference game for Arkansas to play more often.
Yeah, I like the matchup. I thought it was fun. Yeah, I thought that was a really fun game. So I definitely would like to see it more on the schedule. But yeah, that's, you know.
I think it's going to be good, man. I think they got a little cocky. Like if you go back and you look at how Jaquindon was, you know, responding to everybody, how the players were acting and everything, I think they got cocky in the first half. They were feeling themselves a little bit, and then they got humbled. You know, they got humbled in the second half, and hopefully they learn from it. I think Arkansas can turn around, but you know, we'll just have to see. Yeah. We'll just have to see. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get on. I saw you were on. I just wanted to come in, give a little information about Arkansas, how I felt about it. But man, you have a great day. And all your listeners out there, man, y'all have great days too. Oh, Chris, real quick. I wanted to say this. Dylan Sampson and Jaquindon Jackson right now are 6 yards apart from each other in rushing in the SEC. That Tennessee and Arkansas game, if they continue on the same road with each other, where they, you know, because both of them, I put the post out, you saw it, 256 on 32 carries and 250 on 32 carries between Dylan and Jaquindon, respectively. That matchup between those two, I think that's going to be fun.
Take the over.
I think that's going to be fun, and it could, yeah. And I could see. You remember how Quinshon Judkins and Rocket were going against each other in 2022?
Yeah,
I could see something like that happening, and that would be great.
Yeah,
that would be great. But yeah, man, you guys be blessed. All you listeners, man, y'all be blessed. Stay motivated, and man, have a great day.
J-Rod, you're the man. I appreciate the call.
No problem, man.
Thanks so much, man. J-Rod's awesome. Really appreciate that call. And yeah, that Tennessee-Arkansas game could be a lot of fun in a couple weeks in Fayetteville. I think, it's weird leaving the Arkansas game. You're disgusted if you're a Hogs fan, obviously, the way you lost. You feel like you lost that game more than Okie State beat you. I also leave that game, believe it or not, kind of encouraged. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be happy about the loss, but like, I look at Arkansas' schedule. I mean, their offense, I think, is for real. Like, I think Bobby Petrino has done wonders. I think Taylon Green, I mean, you look at him. I love Jaquindon Jackson at the running back spot. They got some things to clean up defensively. There's no doubt. But you telling me they can't beat Texas A&M? You telling me they can't beat Auburn? I was called crazy in the offseason for picking Arkansas to beat Auburn. You telling me Arkansas can't beat Auburn? How is Auburn going to score enough to beat Arkansas? I mean, so I still think Arkansas could get to 6 wins. I think they could still make a bowl game, but that one hurts. That one really, really hurts. I will say that one really, really hurts because you had it right there in your grasp. Green with Envy. I think Vandy can beat A&M, to be honest. Dude, Vandy's a heck of a story, man. I mean, I know it was Alcorn State, but you win 55-0. Vandy 2-0. Shot to go 3-0. Big thing you can't do. Do not stub your toe against Georgia State. Do not overlook Georgia State. On the road, too. On the road. Xavier Myers, who has more rushing yards Saturday? LSU as a team or Sellers alone? I mean, I got to go LSU as a team, man. I know they struggle to run the football, but I'm gonna go LSU's team. Now, who has more rushing yards, LSU or South Carolina? That's a tougher answer. I mean, they just have not been able to run the football. I mean, and I don't know that facing South Carolina's salty defensive front is the remedy to that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that it is. So let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 803-500-1485. Phone lines are back open. Want to hear from you. Get your thoughts on the weekend that was in college football, week 2. Wildly entertaining. Let's see. Donald Britt. Texas beat Okie State 49-21. How does Arkansas think they have any chance this year? I mean, are we talking about, Donald, a game that happened last year? I mean, I don't know that a game that happened last year matters all that much. I guess it's Kwesi Harrison. LSU can't run the ball. Cox by 80. Well, they've struggled. LSU has struggled to run the football. Couldn't do so all that effectively week 1. They couldn't even run it against Nichols. So that's the big question for LSU. When I look at South Carolina LSU, guys, the two offenses, my biggest question is which of these two offenses can find the most balance? That's my question, right? For South Carolina, offensively, I don't really know what they're good at right now. Like, and that's not meant as a slight. It's just I don't know what their calling card is. I don't know. I think they're more so equipped to be a ground and pound offense. Lenora Sellers showed some things in the passing game, right? I thought he had a couple nice throws. He's still a young quarterback, plays like a young quarterback. That's okay. They need other guys to step up around him and help carry the load, right? I love Mazeo Bennett at wide receiver, Josh Simon at tight end, but they lack playmakers on the outside, guys. We know that. It's not going to be the high-flying offense of last year. So are they able to run the football and establish some run game? And LSU, same thing. I know LSU can throw the football. Are they going to be able to have balance, right? Caleb Jackson in the backfield, Josh Williams, like, will they be able to get something going? Because as good as that offensive line has been in pass pro, and that's going to be a great matchup to watch, LSU's offensive line against South Carolina's defensive line. I don't know in run game, run blocking, are they going to be able to win those battles consistently? Because they just haven't done it. So let's see. Again, we're running through your questions, your comments, everything in between. Carrie, not Corey. Carrie, Arkansas gave away their game. That's how it feels. For sure. Yeah, they absolutely gave it away. Again, guys, appreciate your love and support. We had a blast in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Tennessee-NC State game. Thank you all so much for continuing to interact with the content. We are setting records daily, whether it be YouTube, podcast, social media, but especially on the YouTube side, you guys are really running that up, man. I can't say thank you enough. It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible, man. Again, I cannot say thank you enough. Our friend Robbie Davis texts in. What's up, Chris? It's Robbie Davis. I would have plays designed where Sellers moves out of the pocket. That's just what I would do, but if they don't do it, that's fine with me as long as we get the dub. Good to know Dabble Loggins has the vote of confidence from Robbie Davis. Let's see. H posts, Auburn was worse than Bama, but they play well in the Iron Bowl when it's in Jordan Hare. Well, the game's not in Jordan Hare this year. That's the problem. Yeah, Peyton Thorne stinks. I mean, what? Peyton Thorne is exactly who we thought he was going to be. And you just have to sit here and wonder. Hugh Freeze hitched his wagon to this guy. And I heard people say Auburn's more than a quarterback away from competing for the college football playoff. I get that. But you're not more than a quarterback away from winning 7 or 8 games or 8 or 9. You're telling me it wouldn't have been well worth it to go find a capable signal caller to get you to that point? I don't know what we thought we were going to get out of Peyton Thorne. At some point, people show you who they are. It's your job to believe them. And Peyton Thorne, sure, he's a great kid, but he's not a good SEC quarterback, guys. He's just not. He's just not. He's a very, very average to below average to mediocre college football quarterback. That's what he is. And I just don't know where you go from here if you're Auburn. I mean, I guess you got to ride it out. This is the guy that Hugh Freeze is trusted in. But I would be very, very concerned as an Auburn fan. I would be very concerned. Losing to Cal, I mean, I saw many outcomes coming on Saturday. None of them involved Auburn losing that football game to Cal. None of them involved that scenario. So there's a lot of soul searching to do in Auburn, Alabama. You got to get it solved, and you got to get it solved very, very quickly, because you're going to get an SEC play. And guys, if you don't have good quarterback play, you don't have a chance. And Auburn's not going to have a chance if they get that version of Peyton Thorne that we saw on Saturday. They're just not going to have a chance. So let's see. Luke RJ, haven't watched Oklahoma much this year. What do you think they play versus Tulane this week? That's a great matchup, Luke RJ. That's a great matchup. We will see how much concern there should be when it comes to Oklahoma. I mean, 16-12 against Houston isn't exactly inspiring a bunch of confidence, but yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. So, John Rice, 1 month out. Give me an early line for South Carolina against Bama. 1 month out. I would probably go Bama. Bama definitely favored in the ball game in Tuscaloosa. I'd probably go Bama minus 10.5, something like that. Minus 11. I would put the spread at double digits right now. I understand where we are, how Bama looked against USF, how South Carolina just looked against Kentucky. Just realistically, I think it's still going to be very, very hard to win in Tuscaloosa. I just, so you're asking me for a line. John, we can revisit this the week of that game. We'll see how close I am to the line. I think right at like 10.5, 10.5 is where you're going to see that line open up. I think that's where that line will open up. So let's see. Questy says, hit the like button, everyone. Yes, thank you. Hit the like button. Indeed. H post, if Oklahoma loses to Tulane, is it too late to switch who the SEC invited? That will be a brutal loss, no question. To your point, that'll be a really, really, really brutal loss. Really brutal loss. Let's see. Again, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 803-500-1485. That's 803-500-1485. You can call that number. You can text that number. And again, in case you missed it, the SEC Unfiltered Game of the Week, we will be in Columbia, South Carolina for South Carolina and LSU. Really looking forward to it. The city will be buzzing. College game day will be on hand. We'll be out there at that. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really, really, really good time. Excited for it. Excited for it, no doubt. It's going to be Williams-Brice Stadium will be rocking. Sucks it's a noon kickoff, but it is what it is. But I'll be curious with the noon kickoff. I wonder, does College Game Day still set up on the Horseshoe on South Carolina's campus? Because if you've never been, guys, it's a little bit of a hike from the campus where they've set up previously to the stadium. And I just fear that if you're set up on the campus, by 10:30, that atmosphere is going to be virtually non-existent because people are going to go down to the tailgate. They're going to go to the game. I wonder if maybe they set up in the fairgrounds. I wonder if they set up in Gamecock Park. I wonder if they set up somewhere else they haven't set up before. So, it is confirmed. Okay, I did not see that, Jaden. I did not see it. Is confirmed in Gamecock Park. That is a smart move. That is a very, very smart move. Good on College Game Day. That's a good decision. Very good decision because, again, then it's right there across the street from the stadium. So that'll be electric, man. That'll be electric. And looking forward to getting out there. It'll be a lot of fun. Let's see. H-Posts. I'm not afraid of any team left on my Longhorn schedule other than Georgia because they have a complete backfield to ours and we'll have at least a good, great offensive line. Yeah, listen, I had Texas winning that game. I had Texas beating Georgia. I think in Austin at home, I only had Texas losing one game, and that was to Texas A&M, believe it or not, to end the season at Kyle Field. But I had Texas 11-1. I had them taking on Georgia again in the SEC title. Georgia getting their revenge. We shall see how that plays out, but I don't know what that'll be really fun. That we get to the week of that game. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome for sure. Let's see. Justin, thoughts on UK getting exposed by having to play a SEC game that's on the same level as them before week 5 or 6 in a season like years past? Definitely, Justin, the schedule did not help them. And I think, listen, we're to a point where you kind of almost just, when South Carolina and Kentucky play each other, you kind of almost just have to give South Carolina the benefit of the doubt. You really do. Shane Beamer owns Mark Stoops at this point. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. Shane Beamer owns Mark Stoops. So, it is, they have solved that riddle that is Kentucky football and Mark Stoops and his football team. So, Donald Britt says, Texas will play Georgia 3 times this year. The only one that matters is the 3rd game. So, you've got them squaring off in the playoff. That would certainly, Donald, be the most important game. There's no question. There's no question. Somebody asked, let's see, let me go back here. Somebody asked, I lost the comment. Oh, here we go. Luke RJ, does Georgia cover -24 at Kentucky? I don't know that, Luke RJ, that's going to be an official play for me. That, even with as bad as Kentucky looked, that line feels huge. You know what I mean? That line feels huge. So, do they cover it? It's funny, man. Gun to head, I would probably take Kentucky to cover +24. Just because, again, that's such a big line. That's such a big line. Such a big line. So, that's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points. Night game in Lex. I know Kentucky's got some major issues, but how about this? I didn't see this. Paul Feinbaum throwing shade at the fact College Game Day is going to South Carolina LSU. Paul Feinbaum said, quote, "It's one of the most bizarre game day choices in its history." Wow. How about that? That is, wow. College Game Day, that Paul Feinbaum said College Game Day was going to Lexington until Kentucky lost to South Carolina. How about that? Funny enough, guys. Funny enough. I'm happy to admit I was going to Kentucky, Georgia this weekend before the game on Saturday. I was 100% going to Lexington. Nothing had been booked. Nothing had been booked, obviously. But assuming Kentucky beat South Carolina, I was going to Lexington. So, that's why we don't set the schedule way before the season. You got to have some flexibility in the schedule. And, here we are. I mean, this is the best game of the weekend. It's college game days going. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun atmosphere, going to be a fun environment, going to be a good time. Gad says, honestly, what other games could have been chosen? Bama, Wisconsin, the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, Gad, Boston College, Mizzou is a ranked on ranked. Those two teams are ranked. It doesn't have the appeal necessarily, but I mean, they are ranked. So I don't know. I don't know. I think South Carolina LSU is a wildly intriguing game. I'm certainly not complaining about them going. Jaden Brown says, going to be great to see Philly and Columbia again. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Ryan Talley says, Paul picked Kentucky to win like you did. I was wrong. I'm happily eating crow today, Ryan. I'm happily eating crow today. I just, based off what we saw week 1 in the Old Dominion game, I mean, listen, man, I know Shane Beamer came out and said there were a lot of lazy narratives. All people can do is react to what they see on the field. So, I mean, listen, this week, guess what? This week, South Carolina is going to get a lot of pats on the back. They're going to get a lot of love this week. They're going to get a lot of predictions. They're going to get a lot of picks for it to be that upset team. How do they handle it now, right? I know for a fact, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but I know enough South Carolina people. I'm born and raised a fan. I know how this goes. If you give a Gamecock fan this week truth serum, they are nervous as all hell. Because, what's funny, guys? Saturday morning, I woke up and thought this. It's weekends like last weekend when nobody's giving South Carolina a chance. That's when they play their best. It feels like that's when they play their best. When they start getting some hype and some momentum and when you start seeing that, that's when you're like, oh my God, here comes the letdown. Like, tell me I'm wrong. That's when you at least fear that it's coming, right? That's when you fear it's coming. So, I'm just saying. I mean, Jaden Brown puts it perfectly. Any Gamecock fans knows we could beat LSU this week and then go lose to Akron by 21. That might be a little aggressive, but I'm just saying, like, it could happen. It could happen. So, no, I think folks should be excited though, but it's just, if you watch South Carolina football long enough, the only consistency is inconsistency. That's about it, right? So who knows? Who knows what to expect? Who knows what to expect? So, let's see. Anyways, guys, 803-500-1485. We got less than 10 minutes to go. You want to get us your questions, your comments. We would love to hear from you. We got a text here. It says, how bad does Ole Miss need to beat Wake Forest to finally get some love from the national media? Are they not getting love from the national media? I mean, I don't necessarily feel like Ole Miss is being disrespected. Are we feeling that? Are we feeling that? I have not seen that. I have not seen disrespect, if you will. I don't know. Maybe I'm paying attention to the right people. I was going to say maybe I'm not paying attention to the right people, but no, maybe I'm paying attention to the right people. So, anyways, let's see. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Over 300 folks with us right now in the live. Really do appreciate that. Guys. Luke RJ says, I've never used Prize Picks. Is it easier to win bets? And are they a sponsor of SECU? Luke RJ, you know the answer to this. But yes, Prize Picks is the sponsor of the SEC Unfiltered Tour. They are the ones that are footing the bill for the tour. Yes, they are our top leading sponsor, leading business partner in this 2024 SEC football season. Promo code SECU. Use the promo code SECU. Prize Picks is fun, man. I would say it's probably easier in some respects to win on there than just throwing out bets. But yes, Prize Picks, Luke RJ, absolutely a sponsor. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, listen, Pat McAfee called it. Pat McAfee and Michael Phelps absolutely called it, man. Pat McAfee and Michael Phelps absolutely call it. Luke RJ with the John, was that just like, hey, Luke RJ, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks. Promo code SECU. Promo code SECU. Grim says it takes a strong and healthy heart to be a Gamecock fan. It's always a roller coaster ride. It is. It very much is. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Madison Duncan, what's your thoughts on Sellers in 2 games? I think he's been solid. He's playing like a young quarterback. You know what I mean? He's playing like a youngster. I think for the lack of help he probably has around him in some instances, I think he's actually played pretty okay. I mean, they just need more guys around him to step up. That's the big thing. So that's the big thing. Need more guys around him to step up. But great opportunity this weekend, man. Great opportunity this weekend. Very, very good opportunity this weekend. So, let's see. I want to go back to a comment. I can't find it. I don't know. I cannot find the comment. Anyways, there was a comment that maybe I'd be wasting my time highlighting it anyways, but there was a comment from a guy on Facebook that was giving me relentless hell in the tour post that we threw up, the promo graphic of the South Carolina LSU game. And he's commenting here. And I appreciate you commenting, sir. I really do. I appreciate you commenting. And he's saying, just giving you some crap, all love. But it really goes to show, because I'm sure there's many of you tuned in right now or tuned into our content, that you see some of the comments and it's pure madness. And you think, why on God's green earth would he go back to Columbia, South Carolina? Why would he? I mean, yeah, why would he even entertain the idea? And it's because the love really does outweigh the hate. And the silent majority rocks with us. The silent majority, even if they were disgruntled by the decision we made 9+ months ago to pursue different business ventures, they understood it. And deep down, they still rock with us, support us, and show us love. So I would say don't, and this is a guy, again, that was giving me crap in the comments, and now he's in the comments saying, all love, it's just joking, I'm just giving you a hard time. The hate is paper thin. The hate is, it burns out. It's like a flame. It burns out. It's not sustainable. And I've seen that a lot. People just love to kind of ruffle our feathers, if you will, no pun intended. And then we'll come in the comments like, yo, bro, it's all love, man. Feature me on the show. So again, it's all love, and I do appreciate it. But I'm excited to get to Columbia. It's like I said, man, it's I know a lot of people see the comments, they see the madness, and it is pure madness, but I expect nothing, man, but love and support and a great time in Columbia. There's going to be a lot of people that I'm going to link up with, interact with, be out at the tailgate with. And I've had people comment everything from wear a helmet to don't come to you're making a mistake. You watch your back on Saturday. It will never be anything of that. It won't be any of that. It will be a very fun time. We're going to watch a great football game. We're going to enjoy a great atmosphere, and we're going to hang out with great people. And, those are the people that matter, end of the day. So looking forward to it. Yeah, here we go. Ryan Talley. Yeah, it's me, Chris, remember the name. Yeah, Ryan, it's nothing but love, man. But I'm just saying it's I saw Ryan's comment actually this morning and, just ignored it like most of the rest. But I did see it, and I recognized the name, and I'm like, this is kind of ironic. But it's all love, Ryan. I got no nothing negative to say about you or anybody else, man. It is what it is. I had a great run as the Spurs Up show, and I thoroughly enjoyed my experience. And I was very honest, and I was very blunt with my analysis and with my, opinions. And some people, it's why we became what we did, and we grew to the heights we did. But it's also part of the reason why some people hated me, and some people still do, and it's totally fine. And whether it's love or whether it's hate, I'll just say this. I'm blessed to be someone who is able to create a reaction in others, because that's what's led to us winning to such a substantial degree on social media and in business. I'd rather people care than not care at all. You know what I mean? So anyways, guys, it's going to be a great week 3 of college football. Obviously looking forward to South Carolina LSU, looking forward to Mizzou Boston College, looking forward to the rest of the slate. Ole Miss, Wake Forest on the CW, right? Looking forward to Georgia, Kentucky. It's going to be a really good time. absolutely excited for it. Yeah, it feels like everybody's going to be there. I know Josh Pate's going out there. I think cousin Shane from that SEC podcast, we're going to be there. College Game Day is going to be there. So all eyes are on Columbia, guys. We'll see if South Carolina, Shane Beamer and company can answer the bell, and we'll see what LSU has as well. I'm fascinated by this matchup for both sides. LSU desperately needs this game. Their backs against the wall. They've got to have it. And, for South Carolina, we'll see. We shall see. Can you build off that big one against Kentucky? And, again, that's just one of the many storylines we get to look forward to in week 3 of the season. Guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. Again, over 300 of you tuned in live with us throughout this show. Means the world. Appreciate everybody that called in, everybody that texted in, everybody that commented as well. And again, make sure you follow along with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, you turn notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get those as well, also across all social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. Guys, until next time, appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. I'm Chris Phillips. As always, thank you all so much for the continued love and support, and we will talk to you on the other side.